Hi everybody, it's Dr. Metzler here, and today the lab that we're going to do is called Controlling Fire. Now we're going to be looking at Le Chatelier's principle, which usually only applies to reactions that are at equilibrium. But that principle of the Le Chatelier's principle, that you can put more reactants on one side and it affects the reaction, or that you can put products on one side of the reaction and it's going to affect the reaction. We can still see that idea in play with an irreversible reaction, and so that's what we're going to be looking at today. And we're going to think about how human beings control fire and what it means, and how we can find out what something is by using fire to test. You're going to see what I mean, because I'm actually going to use a couple reactions that you've done before, but we're going to compare how they work. Now, first of all, look at your procedure. You should have the paper here. I am going to ask you to, first of all, though, to stop the video and to write down your hypothesis. So go ahead and read it, write down the hypothesis, and then when you're ready, you can start the video again. Okay, so I'm going to start with step number 2 that you'll see. I'm going to take a large scoopula of baking soda. There's my baking soda, regular kitchen baking soda. I like these experiments where we can use regular household products so that it doesn't seem quite so strange and unfamiliar. And I'm going to add to it about 25 milliliters of vinegar. Okay, see, here's the vinegar bought at the store. So once again, a familiar product. We put it in our salad dressing and various kinds of food. And I'm going to need to clean it up. Like I said, I like working with products that are from the kitchen, that are completely safe. Okay, I'm going to just walk over and rinse my fingers off and wipe up here, make sure I keep things clean. And that's my vinegar. Now let's see what's going to happen when I put the two of them together. And I also am going to look at the next instruction where it says cover it with a square of aluminum foil. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at this and what's going to happen. Alrighty, so what's happening here? We're getting lots and lots of bubbles. I just covered it with aluminum foil and it bubbled lots and lots. I noticed that if I stir it again, if I swirl it, it will react a little bit more. Swirl, you get some more bubbles going. All right, so we've gotten lots of bubbles in there from that. Now I put the aluminum foil on it, so I'm going to move on to the next step, which is I'm going to pour about 20 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide into the second flask. This one says hydrogen peroxide plus yeast. I already had them labeled. So I want 20 milliliters, and this I'm going to be very careful with. Unlike the vinegar, this can be harmful if I get it on my skin. So let me just go ahead and measure out 20 milliliters here. This stuff is so ready to foam up and to go through its decomposition reaction. It's already foaming in the graduated cylinder here. Okay, so, and this was my hydrogen peroxide. Hard to read that label, but there it is, 5% hydrogen peroxide. It's going to go into here, into this flask. And then my instructions say to use 5 milliliter of fresh yeast solution. So that's what I have here. I just made it up from dried yeast, excuse me, and it is fresh yeast. Once again, this is a household item. You use this to make bread. All right, so I'm going to pour this in here, and I'm going to have some aluminum foil ready to cover it with. So let's go ahead and pour that in there and see what happens. Now, this is foaming a little bit, and that may be hard for you to see, but I can see bubbles on the top. This is different from the elephant toothpaste only in that I didn't add any coloring and I didn't add any detergent, but it's bubbling and it's foaming a little bit, but it's not making that really abundant soapy foam, all right? And I've covered it with aluminum foil. Now that looks like, all right, so those reactions happened, But what did they produce? Is there some way for us to find out what they produced? We are going to take a splint. A splint, that's just a little piece of wood like this. And we're going to see what happens when we take that splint and we put it into this flask that has the hydrogen peroxide plus yeast. Now we know that's broken down, right, into, well, what has it broken down into? Let's just try it and see. Let me keep this on here until I'm ready to go here. Okay, so you guys have seen this before, hopefully. It's just a smoldering splint. There it goes. Try that one more time. Okay, so why did that happen? Why did it reignite? And I'm going to take this burning splint right now, and I'm going to put it into the other flask. Let's see what happens. Oops, out it goes. A little bit of smoldering still. Can I get it to light again? Let's see. Yep, I can still get it to light again. And let's see what happens when I put it into this one with the baking soda and vinegar. Oh, out it goes. Now there's still a little ember here. So as long as there's an ember, whoops, as long as there's an ember, I can still keep doing this. Why does it go out when I put it into this flask? And that's really gone. It's gone. I'm going to light it one more time just in case anybody missed it the first time. So why don't we put these right next to each other, and I'll ask my cinematographer to get nice and close so you can got them both in the picture so everyone can see. I put it into that one and it will flame again. Now I will put it, it goes right out. A little bit of an ember there so I can put it back in here and it will reignite. But I put it back into this one and it goes out again. And as long as there's a little bit of ember, I can keep doing that same thing over and over. So what on earth is happening here? I'm going to put this like this because I really want this to go out now. What on earth is happening here? You're going to need to think about this. You're going to need to write down what your observations are on the paper, and then you're going to need to answer the questions in the post-lab question section. Thanks for your attention.